Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Barcelona have just lost the Joan Gamper trophy to AS Monaco 3-0 at home at Montjuic. The most prestigious, the most important trophy that we compete for all season. Our trophy, and we can't even win it. I've seen enough, bro. Call the season off. I've seen enough. Hansi Flick needs to go. I want to see Joan today host a press conference and publicly embarrass Hansi Flick and kick him out of this club. I want to see him out today. Xavi was never at fault. Bring Xavi back. Honestly, bring Quique Setién back. Anybody but this bum Hansi Flick. Now, obviously, I'm being hyperbolic. I'm being reactionary. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, you probably just saw it and thought, whoa, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? He's so reactionary. I promise you guys, I'm not that reactionary. It's preseason, man. It is a fucking preseason game. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. It's preseason. Yes, we lost the Joan Gamper trophy for the first time since 2012. That game against Sampdoria. Who cares, bro? It's the Joan Gamper trophy. Like, honestly, who gives a shit? I don't care. Again, here's my problem. Here's what I want to say. We've had mostly positives this preseason. For the most part, the preseason under Hansi Flick, to me, we learned more good things about the team than bad things about the team. But here's the issue. The bad things that we saw have been issues that have been lingering around this club for a long time now. And the board refuses to fix it. The problems that we saw today against Monaco is problems that we've been seeing for a year and a half now. And the Barca board doesn't want to fix it. That is the issue with this club at the moment. It's not Hansi Flick. It's not relying on the youngsters because, again, they're young, bro. They're going to make mistakes. It's the fact that this board continues to be incompetent and not sign players and not do anything actually proactive to make this team better. That's my biggest issue with the way that Barca is being, with Barcelona right now. Again, it's preseason, but a lot of the issues that we saw today, we've been seeing for a minute now. Ter Stegen is clearly not good enough anymore. I've defended Ter Stegen, but he looks really, really bad. And by the game, he looks worse. Today, he was awful, man. He was really, really bad. Lewandowski, man, I'm going to spend a couple minutes on this because you guys know I got to get my Lewa hate in at some time in the video. We got to start early today. Bro, he's fucking terrible. He is washed, man. Washed. As washed as a player can be, that is Robert Lewandowski in the year 2024 at 36, or however the fuck old he is. I don't know, maybe he was too tired from doing the Renegade in the... Here I go again with the fucking Renegade. Guys, I gotta say it. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I know you guys are probably sick and tired. A lot of you guys probably just rolled your eyes right now. Guys, he's doing too many TikTok dances before the game. He's coming out tired. He looks fatigued when he's on the pitch. I don't know what's going on with Robert Lewandowski, but clearly, he's not a good footballer anymore. He's just not a good player anymore. His attitude still sucks. He doesn't press, bro. There's no pressing at all. He's so fucking lazy. You would think this guy's bagging in 70 goals a season. He's not doing anything. He's not Lewandowski from Bayern Munich anymore. There's no pressing. There's no creativeness. There's no running in behind. There's nothing. There's no facilitating your teammates. Nothing. You offer zero, man. You offer nothing at all. And I'm sorry, bro, for being this harsh. But man, it's painful to watch this guy week in and week out. You offer nothing at all. The moment Lewandowski got taken off and Pau Victor got put in centrally, the game completely changed. And I'm not being mean here because even if you could be the biggest Lewandowski lover, dick rider, glazer, and if you watch that game today, he was far and away the worst player on the pitch. It wasn't even close, by the way. And there's kids on that pitch that were 17 years old. He was by far and away the worst player on the pitch today. That's an issue for the team. That's an issue that we've had for a minute now. But what is Barca's solution? Oh, let's sell our backup striker that we brought in from Brazil. We're relying on a 36-year-old who's clearly washed. Okay, we're not gonna actually we're not gonna make strides to sign someone else in that position, maybe as a backup. No, we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of the only other guy who can back him up. One of the other two guys, him and Pau Victor. Like, that's the solution from Deco and Joan. Lewandowski's washed. They probably see that he's washed, but let's sell our backup striker. That should help. No, it's not gonna fucking help. Our winger's still an issue. We have no one who can create one-on-one out wide on that left-hand side. And today, man, Nico decides that he's obviously not gonna come, which we knew already, and now this shit. But again, the left winger position, it was a problem today, and it's been a problem for a long time. We just talked about Ter Stegen, who's been a problem, the striker who's been a problem, the left winger who's been a problem, and then we gotta talk about the pivots, man. Bernal and Casado, look, I'm not going to sit here and shit on them because they're young. They're not supposed to be amazing already. Barcelona is the only club in the world where we have such high expectations for these youngsters because obviously they come from La Masia, but it's not normal to get kids from Barca B and chuck them into the first team. Most big teams aren't doing that. Most serious clubs are not chucking in their youngsters from the B team and throwing them into the first team like that and expecting them to be key contributors for the season. That's stupid. That's why we continue to be so fucking mediocre. Because we continue to rely on these kids and Joan and Deco get fat and happy with La Masia and they refuse to do anything else. So Joan Laporta was asked today, oh, do you think Nico Williams or whatever? And he responded with, we have a good squad already. What are you watching, bro? The squad is clearly it's not strong enough to compete at the highest level, and we're seeing it. Again, one preseason game is not the end-all be-all, but again, I'm mostly focusing on issues that we've been talking about for a minute now. Out of possession, the midfield looks terrible. Casado gets bodied off the ball too easily. He's still too young. Bernal is very good physically, but again, he makes mistakes every now and then, which again, he's prone to do because he's young. Not everybody's going to be a Pau Cuarcio or Lamine Jamal, where they come into the first team and are seemingly perfect every single game. That is not a normal thing, bro. And again, Casado didn't look good to me. Casado, he needs a year. He needs one more year. He's not ready to play Barca. And again, do I think Bernal and Casado can be contributors for this team? Yes, because Romeo last year was a contributor for this team. And these two kids are already better in my opinion. But again, like Barca, look at that. Joan Portandeco, look at Bernal and Casado, and they're like, okay, you know, we don't need anybody else. We don't need anybody else. It's stupid, bro. How do you look at this team? You look at the goalkeeper who's not great. But again, Ter Stegen is the least of my worries right now. He was washed. He's terrible. But again, that third goal, it was Iñaki Peña. Both of our goalkeepers are terrible. Honestly, they're both really, really bad. But anyway, Ter Stegen, he'll come good at some point. I know he'll make some big saves. But again, how do you look at this team and you look at the glaring weaknesses at DM, striker, and winger? Most notably, winger and DM. And your decision is to sign Dani Olmo. Again, I'm not picking on Dani Olmo, but what is the thought process behind that? I think that is where the frustration for most of us, from Barca fans, come from. What are we doing here, man? Lamine Jamal comes in and automatically changes the game. Like, because he always does that, bro. Like, but again, guys, I'm not trying to sit here and act like I'm overreacting because I think the season's going to go well. But if you notice, my frustration isn't with the team. Because again, it's preseason, it's with the board, man. We've been seeing this for a minute now. We have been seeing this team struggling at those positions for a long time. And we're seeing it again today. Today was just like, it put a flashlight on it. Ferran Torres is not good enough, man. Our attack is not good enough. I'm not even worried about the defense that much. It's the attack that looks terrible. Gundogan, he comes in, comes off, but again, if he's injured for this Valencia game, what is our midfield going to look like? And Ilkay Gundogan does nothing off the ball. Oh, Gundogan, look, bro, I defended him and I talked so much. I was really happy with him last season. I thought he was our best and most consistent player all of last season. I think a lot of Barca fans were hating on him for just to try and be different, honestly. But with the whole thing with Arda Güler, where he's talking shit about his own teammates to a rival player, and then I've seen him throughout this preseason and he's doing nothing off the ball. And I understand it's preseason and you're trying to save yourself, but at least show that you care, man. Show that you give a fuck a little bit, because we care. The fans, we care. Do you give a fuck? It seems like you don't. It seems like you and Lewandowski are both getting fan happy and not doing anything. Because Lewandowski does nothing off the ball as well. At least Roque, when he comes in, he at least proves that he wants to be a part of the team. He at least has a chip on his shoulder to prove himself to the manager. Lewandowski thinks that because he's Robert Lewandowski, he can just cruise by and he'll never get benched or anything like that. And props to Flick for benching him. But again, I hope that's a trend for the season when the real games start. Did he bench him today because he wants him rested for Valencia, or did he bench him because he really looked bad? And he's like, you know what, this is not. Well, let's put Pau Victor in the middle. Because honestly, bro, if it was up to me, Lewandowski would not sniff the pitch against Valencia. He would not sniff that pitch. Because it's not just it's not a preseason. It's been years, man. It's been a year and a half of Robert Lewandowski being subpar. You may not want to hear it, but you're going to have to hear it. You come to this channel for honesty. And the gun show, look at this. Ooh, no, I'm kidding. That was goofball. That was cringe ass. But anyway, cringe ass. Look at me. That's even cringer than saying cringe. Anyway, you come here like, guys, again, Lewandowski's just not good enough. He's just not good enough. That's just the fact of the matter. I think most of you guys saw it on that first off. Just not good enough. Bernal and Casado, again, not experienced enough. You can't rely on those kids for important games. Dude, guys, really imagine this. Today was against Monaco, right? We got spanked 3-0 against AS Monaco, right? And the goals were just like mistakes. One of them was offside. The other one was a defensive mistake. The third one was just a good finish. Again, I'm not worried about the goals. It's preseason. Who gives a fuck? Defensively, we have a lot of things to work on. But again, I'm mostly worried about the attack. But think about, imagine Vinicius Jr., Mbappe, and Bellingham coming at this defense. Imagine how, like, dude, we can't do, like, our midfield gets pushed over so much in these games. Like, we have, like, off the ball, out of possession, the midfield, like, in possession, the midfield looks decent. Out of possession, there's nothing. We offer nothing right now. There's not a guy who can go and win the ball back. I mean, we had Gavi, obviously, but he's not there right now. And look, I don't know, man. I really don't know what to say. Again, it's preseason, and I'm really optimistic about the season as a whole. I think Hansi Flick and Barca are going to have a good year. But if you notice, it's the frustration. It's just my frustration that's seeping over because we've had this whole transfer window to make changes for this team. You had 60 million clearly to spend on Dani Olmo. You had that money. We're not guessing anymore. That money was there to spend. And you went and spent it on Dani Olmo, who, granted, is a really, really good player. Doesn't fill a position of need. He just doesn't. Well, you could have easily used that money to reinforce the winger, even if it wasn't Nico, because we've known Nico's not coming for weeks. So I made this point on TikTok, but I'll make it again today. Barcelona knew the second they signed Dani Olmo, the second they got in contact with Dani Olmo's camp and the negotiations started advancing forward, they knew in that moment Nico is not coming, because they said from the start, Nico's plan A, Olmo's plan B. When they started moving towards plan B, we should have known plan A was never going to happen. So we've known, we should have known, they knew Nico Williams was not coming to Barca. I'm talking about the Barca board. They knew he wasn't going to come to Barca for weeks now. And instead of actually pivoting and trying to find somebody else, they try to gaslight us into thinking, oh, we're actually going to try and get him still. It's not over yet, guys. We're still going to go out and get Nico Williams. When it was a fucking farce. It was bullshit from the start. And that's my frustration. You're watching player after player, whether it's Amadou Onana or Miguel Merino or Subimendi, get offered by all these different teams, and you're sitting on your fucking hands. Because you want to rely on Bernal and Casado. Because, yeah, why not put more pressure on the youngsters? We don't do that enough already. We don't have enough youngsters playing on the team already with too much pressure. It's not a sustainable model, bro. It's not a sustainable model. It just isn't. You need to have a mixture of experience and youth. That's what the good teams have. Good teams have a mixture of experience and youth, right? That, like, it's. I'm not over here. I'm not some guru guy here. I'm literally just stating a fact. Every good football team has a mixture of both. Okay, and it seems like we just want to rely on the youth and expect to compete with all these teams that have experience and youth and more talent than us. It's not going to happen, bro. It's just not going to happen. And when I'm watching this transfer window and I'm watching Sorloth and Lenormand and Julian Alvarez go to Atletico Madrid and I'm watching Mbappe go to fucking Madrid and I'm watching us, our biggest signing is fucking Pau Victor, like, apart from Dani Olmo, and like, come on, man. What are we doing here? It's frustrating. But again, it's preseason. There's no need to overreact. But the issues with this team have been there for a minute now, and the board refused to acknowledge them, and they refused to actually do something to fix it. And that's my biggest frustration as a fan of this team, as a guy who has spent the vast majority of his life watching this team. It's frustrating to me. And again, we hadn't lost the Joan Gamper Trophy since 2012. Do I care about the Joan Gamper Trophy? Obviously not. But, you know, it would have been nice to see the team put a little bit more effort out there. That first half was absolutely putrid, and that second half wasn't much better. Bernal, I think, had a decent first half. I thought Pablo Torre just doesn't do it for me, honestly, guys. I'm not convinced by him. I think Pau Victor had a decent first half as well. It's weird, man. I don't know. It's weird. We're gonna have to see once the real game starts. A lot of these kids that made appearances, obviously, most of the kids that made appearances today will not be playing a single minute when the Barca season actually starts. But again, guys, the season starts on Saturday. Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, my time here in the States, against Valencia. We have a tough start to the season, bro. And this squad has no depth. We're incredibly injured, and we're still going into the season relying on a washed striker to bring home the bacon. It's unacceptable, man. It is unacceptable, and I don't know. It just Barca let themselves go. I don't know what it is with this team, but again, I have trust in Hansi Flick. I think that the football today, you know, the combinations still look good. The pressing when the players want to press, you know, when they're actually trying, it looks good. You know, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with like the patterns of play that I see at times. You know, the structure is there. I believe that once we get our good players back and healthy, it's going to be better. So again, I'm not trying to tell you guys to overreact, because this season will be a lot better than what we saw today, losing the Joan Gamper Trophy to fucking Monaco. But again, guys, don't forget that we as fans deserve better from this board. That's what I want to tell you guys. We deserve better from the board. That's what we deserve. We deserve better. We deserve a board that's actually trying to improve the team. Not go out and sign luxury players just because they want to show how big their dick is. Oh, look at me, I'm Joan Laporta. I can sign Dani Olmo. Good for you, bro. It's helping with nothing. It is helping with nothing. Your house is falling apart. Okay, there's leaks on the roof, and you wanted to go buy a Ferrari to show off. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Preseason is done. It is time for the real season to start, and I cannot wait, man. It's gonna be a fun season. You guys can obviously catch me doing match reviews after every game, like I always do, streaming a lot of the games. I will be streaming most of the games this season as well. So yeah, man, we're in for a journey for the next 38 match weeks, or actually should be like 50-something match weeks, including hopefully the UCL and also the Copa del Rey. So it's gonna be fun, man. I'm excited for the season, but again, this board is just—they're not gonna move. They're not gonna do anything for the rest of the transfer window. I know that for a fact. But again, we're still gonna be here supporting the team no matter what, because that's what we do. We're delusional and we're crazy, and we love this team, bro. And I'm not speaking. I'm speaking for me, and also for, I'm guessing, most of you guys that are watching this channel right now. That are Barca fans. But yeah, man, I love every single one of you. Let me know your thoughts on the game and the preseason as a whole down below in the comment section, please. I would love to hear it. And yeah, man, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.